What's up, guys, and welcome back to Jimmy Talks. If you're new here from the algorithm, I'm glad to have you here, and if you're already subscribed, I appreciate your loyalty. I see you, meaning if you're a profile that always comments, I see it and I appreciate it. All right, so today we're getting real with a topic that's been on my heart for a minute: how to stay safe and chill while living in the hood. This video will describe stuff I've experienced straight from my life living in these areas and responding to calls for service through them as an EMT. I'm dropping this to keep you informed, help you stay out of trouble, and most of all, to push the young dudes out there to dodge the street life and aim higher than that stuff. All right, let's get into it. First off, the golden rule for making it not just in the hood, but literally anywhere in the world. Mind your own business. I'm serious, like super serious about that. If you stay in your lane and keep your eyes on yourself, don't go sniffing around other people's drama, stuff like that. You're already ahead of the game. The hood isn't the Wild West like some people try to paint it, but people here are real protective of their space and their hustle. It is what it is, right? If you aren't starting problems, most dudes, yeah, even the ones you might think look hood, probably won't even look your way. They're out here dealing with their own stuff, their own jobs, whatever that job may be, legal or illegal, their own problems, their own dreams. They don't have time to mess with you if you're just handling your business. So keep your head low, focus on you, and you'll dodge a lot of headaches. So now let me put you onto a mistake I see way too often, especially with people who are new to the hood for whatever reason you moved there. I don't know why. Or people who are just too trusting in general. If some random dude on the corner yells at you, "Yo, come here real quick, I got something to show you," or "Hey, yo, bruh, come here real quick," do not walk over there. Like, come on. This isn't about being cold or stuck up. It's about keeping yourself safe. Most of the time, this dude isn't trying to show you something that's actually cool. Like, why would I talk to a random about that? They're looking for somebody that they can rob. Nothing more, nothing less. I've seen it go down too many times working as an EMT, and I've experienced it myself. Some guy is yelling at me, "What time is it, bro?" But really, he's just waiting for you to look at your watch or your phone. So when you look down, he can punch you in the face and steal your shit when your guard is down for just a second. It happened to me, so I can say that this actually happens. Some random guy yelled at me, "What time is it, bro?" And I already knew what was up. I already know about that trick. I said back to him, "I don't know, bro," and then just kept walking. But I turned around and he was following me, so I started walking backwards as I was walking. Like I was turning around and walking. Whatever, y'all get it. I kind of flexed on him and threw my arms up, and I was like, "I don't know what fucking time it is, bro." And I kind of wanted to let him know by that, like, "Hey, I already know your trick," and asking me that question with your hands clenched up while you're looking at me up and down, that's kind of suspicious. So he kept walking at me with his fist clenched and not saying anything at all till he eventually just stopped. But anyway, so it's kind of a weird interaction. Somebody will get lured over. Next thing you know, they're getting pressed for whatever they have on them, or worse. I've literally seen dudes on with no clothes on except for their underwear because people will rob them for everything down to their underwear. It's kind of it's kind of humiliating. But trust your instincts. If it feels sketchy, it probably is. Just hit him with a quick "I'm good, bro." Don't even acknowledge it and just keep it moving. Don't argue. Don't explain. Just leave. Next, always watch people's hands. Any cop can tell you this as well. Staying sharp means keeping your eyes open, especially on how people are moving. Always check where people's hands are. If somebody's got their hands tucked in their jacket or their hoodie and you don't know them and you're talking to them for some reason, stay on alert. I mean, of course, context matters here, but if you're talking to a random guy and it's outside, it's like 2 a.m., yeah, dude, watch their hands and their waistband. They could have a knife, a gun on them. Who cares? I don't know anything. It's just something they don't want you to see. Now, I'm not saying everybody with their hands in their pockets is trouble. Like if you're at your house and your mom has her hands in her pockets, it's not like, "Hey, mom, you trying to stab me?" Because context matters, obviously. But in certain environments, you have to stay alert. I'm not going to say everybody is out there to get you either. It's just vigilance. Notice how people are acting. Where they're posted up or what they're doing. Are they chilling by an alley a little bit too long, or are they staring at you a little too hard? These little signs can save you from walking into something you don't want. So situational awareness is like your superpower out here. It seriously is. So, okay. Next one now. One move that's helped me a lot is getting cool with the owner of the corner store. You know those little spots that sell everything from chips and like beer, phone chargers, lighters, cigarette. It's a corner store. It's like a gas station, except some of them don't have gas. But they're sometimes called a bodega. But anyways, they're like the meeting spot of the neighborhood. Look up any gang shooting video, and most of the time it's at a corner store or a gas station. Like I said, it's kind of the meeting spot. Anyways, the owners see it all. They know everybody, and they can have your back. So if you're a regular, they'll look out for you. Even if you don't have money, sometimes they might just front you something, which means they'll let you pay them back later. That's what my guy always did. I never had to have him give me anything for free. I don't like doing that, but I seen him do it for other people all the time. But anyways, they'll look out for you. They might tip you off if something might be popping off nearby, or they might hold your Amazon package so it doesn't get stolen. You know, just stop by, grab a drink, and just hang out with them for a little bit. Build the bond. That's what I did with mine, and that guy ended up being one of my good friends. It's a small thing, but it can go a long way. I had to tell some dudes who were literally about to stab each other inside of this guy's store to get the fuck out because we don't give the owner any problems. I don't know what they were fighting about or arguing about, and I didn't really care. But I told these two dudes, just like, hey, take this outside. Don't give the owner any problems. He's like, everybody loves him around here. And they actually did. So I don't really remember exactly what I said. But yeah, don't start problems in the corner store either. All right, moving on. Let's talk about cars right now. Blacked out cars, like the ones with tints so dark you can't see who's inside of them, are super common in the hood. Anyways, they're not always a red flag, of course, but you got to keep them in your sight. If you see one parked on a corner for a while with nobody hopping in or out, or it's creeping through the block really slow, it's something to take note of. Could be somebody scoping things out for one reason or another. I'm not saying to start panicking, but just stay aware of that kind of stuff because this is suspicious behavior. Also, if you're driving through yourself and people are staring at you really hard for some reason, it's actually quite normal. They're checking out who you are, who maybe you're with, who else is in the car. They're trying to figure out who you are and like what you're up to. It's most of the time it's not beef with you specifically, as that's what you'd assume when somebody's staring at you, but rather it's just the neighborhood keeping tabs on people. Don't sweat it; it's normal. Also, the most common criminal cars I've noticed in my time, as everyone knows the meme, Nissan Altimas, but also like old Buicks, like Buick Mercurys. I've also noticed that Chrysler 300s are a common one too. This doesn't mean every single driver of these cars are up to no good. Obviously not, but it's just something I've noticed and I wanted to share. But all right, on to the next one. How do you even know if you're in the hood? You'll see the signs. Like buildings start looking really rough and dilapidated. Abandoned buildings. You've probably heard it in a rap song before. It's called the bando. It's just short for abandoned. They're real dilapidated, falling apart, stuff like that. You'll also see empty building lots where houses are supposed to be, but instead they have tall grass and there's just trash piled up everywhere. Roads with potholes everywhere. The gas stations are a dead giveaway. If you pull up and see a bunch of dudes standing outside, maybe like hanging out and talking loudly, pay attention. Step inside, and if the cashier is behind bulletproof glass and he's standing up on a platform that's really high up with a little slot to pass money through, you're probably in the trenches. Those spots are built like that for a reason. They've seen some things, and it's all about survival, just like you're trying to do, right? So, moving on now. Let's double down on staying aware, though, because it is that important. If you're walking and spot somebody in all black, wearing all black Nike Tech hoodie with a mask pulled up, if he's got a shiesty or like a COVID mask on, whatever, he's walking by yourself. Honestly, keep an eye on that guy. I might just leave because that is what I like to call the drill uniform. I've seen some wild stuff like dudes tucking whole entire shotguns in their pants, like full size shotguns because they didn't have a smaller gun for whatever reason, because maybe they're broke. I don't know, or they stole it. Who knows? But I've literally seen dudes walking down the street with a whole entire shotgun shoved down their pants. It's kind of wild. You got to know what's around you. If there's a fiend on the corner or somebody who looks like they're up to no good, occupationally speaking, drugs or something, just leave them be. They're not going to come at you unless you're messing with them. So just keep your distance, mind your business, and you're good. So yeah, on to the next one. All right, so don't leave anything outside. By that, I mean like outside of your house. or your car. I don't know people who would leave anything outside your car, but don't leave anything outside. No decorations, no Christmas lights, no like lawn chairs or whatever. Most commonly really is like Amazon packages. Don't leave anything outside. If it's out there and it's not nailed down or something, somebody is going to take it. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. So this is a reminder to be cool with your neighbors if you can, and also have a Ring camera. Having people who know you and can watch your back, they can watch your house, is necessary. They might hit you up if they see something shady, or let you know if your door's looking funny because someone maybe tried to kick it in. But, and speaking of doors, always lock your doors. Pretty obvious here. It should seem obvious by now, but yeah, your house, your car, everything, always locked. It's simple, but people slip up, so don't be that person. So, all right, on to the next one. If you're out at night, don't wear something too flashy unless you have people with you. Flexing with jewelry or nice clothes can bring you bad attention. Just keep it chill. And speaking of that, always carry a gun if you can do it legally. Things pop off quick and you need to be able to protect yourself. So just make sure you're following the law, of course. Don't catch a case when you don't need to and you're just trying to stay safe. Like if you're not a felon and you're illegally carrying because you don't want to get a permit or some reason, that's pretty stupid. If you're legally allowed to carry a gun and you're not following through the legal way or whatever, even though I'm a Second Amendment absolutist, and I think a lot of gun laws are absolutely stupid and a waste of time, it is what it is in some of these places for now. So yeah, you're asking for trouble. Just do it the right way. All right, so if there's nothing you could take away from this video at all, let me just give you the most important things. Just lock your doors and mind your own business. If you do that, your odds of catching problems are incredibly low. Most people in the hood are just trying to get by, same as you, So the ones you got to watch are the ones deep in crime, like drug dealers, gangbangers, stuff like that. Even if they're friendly with you, and you should be polite and respectful back, don't get me wrong, it would be a mistake to start hanging out with them. That's how you get caught up. Just be respectful, but keep it moving. Being around them, in my opinion, is like playing with fire because you never know who has a problem with them, and they're just going to roll up and start shooting at them, and they might miss because gangbangers aren't known for their notorious accuracy. They kind of shoot like stormtroopers in Star Wars. They can't hit shit. So being around them is like playing with fire. All right, moving on. Now, this part's for the young dudes out here because I see you, if you grew up in one of these areas, it's easy to think the street life is the obvious move. You see the nice cars these people can get, the very quick money, the respect some of them get, and all the girls, and it looks like the way out, And, I get it when people think this because when we're thinking about these kids who live here, like some of them don't even have running water sometimes. Or, they don't even they have like one pot and one pan to maybe make some food if there's any food in their house. They have like nothing, maybe a couple t-shirts and a couple pair of jeans, like almost nothing. So, but listen, don't get into that stuff because street stuff is a subtly disguised trap. For every story about a dude who's made it, you hear about 50 more who end up dead, literally, or in jail. The shit is not a joke. All the money you could possibly make, because if you start getting in being a drug dealer, who knows if you even make money? What if you don't make any money at all and you just get caught immediately? So good, cool, because you decided to get in the street stuff. You didn't even get the glory that you thought you were going to get. It's nothing at all if you're not here to enjoy any of it. All the stuff you could possibly do. It's so stupid. You're worth more than that. You need to put yourself out there. Get some skills. Gather some knowledge. College isn't for everybody. That's not what I'm saying. But if you do want to go to college and get a good major, and if you don't want to go, that's fine. Trade schools may be better for some people anyways. Learn to be a plumber, electrician, carpenter, whatever. Those jobs pay good and they'll keep you out of the streets. You don't need to sell drugs and be a scammer. And don't get stuck in that crabs in a bucket mentality where everybody's dragging each other down. Like, oh, you think you're too good for us. This is where you come from. Don't forget about that. And it's so stupid. People watching this are like, what are you talking about? That's obviously stupid as fuck. And yeah, it is. But, some of these people, that's all they know because they're confined to this part of the city that they live in for one reason or another. That's what they grew up around. And they might be 14, 15 years old getting into this stuff because that's all they've seen for 14 or 15 years. And it's not like they're going on a vacation or going on a school trip. So yeah, it is pretty stupid, but it's all they know. So I understand the line of thinking there is what I'm trying to say. But I know it's hard when you're coming from nothing and hustling feels like the only way. But there's other paths. I'm telling you now, Jimmy Talks is not going to lead you into bad things. Um, it's just not. I'm not going to ever do that to people. That's not right. It's not morally correct. You can have a life that's real and not have to roll the dice on ending up in jail or just getting killed. I'm making this video because I've seen the streets from both sides. As an EMT, I was in that environment every day, picking up people who made bad judgment calls or got caught up in something bad. I lived there too. Not anymore, but I did. So I know what it's like to move through that kind of environment. My channel is all about helping people out. So that's why I make these videos. Well, I'm trying to build something as an entrepreneur, and I'm in healthcare, which I got into because I want to help people out. So a YouTube channel that's all about giving good advice just felt right. So I wanted to drop the knowledge I wish I had dropped on me back when I was younger and help you find a way to avoid common mistakes that should already make logical sense, not just for this video, but for all my videos. But yeah. All right, guys, that about finishes up this video. If this hit home, hit the like button, subscribe, and let me know in the comments what else you want to talk about. Stay safe out here. Stay sharp. Keep grinding for a better life. Always stay true to yourself. Jimmy Talks out.